Of course,
Do you have the Overwatch 2
of
map changes in
course,
here? Oh
there's
yeah!
there is the absolute like must see new footage of Overwatch 2, which has been making the rounds. You know, it's really important to show off the new features in a sequel to get people hyped up for the new game. And a tweet showing off exactly that has been popping off this week. Yeah, there was Overwatch Nary, I believe, yes, on Twitter, tweeted out the new lighting comparison between the various levels of Overwatch 1 and Overwatch 2. And this video has led to uh, instant, like, parody in the form of, like, just people dragging a Photoshop slider across their favorite screenshots of, uh, you know, two images. There's Daniel and the cooler Daniel. There's quite a good bit of
There's
dragging going
the
on.
guy. The first one that I saw was somebody just going, Overwatch 2 takes place 6 hours after Overwatch 1 because every single fucking stage is just one time period over.
And like
If it was dusk, now it's night. If it was night, now
the
it's morning. If it's
Minecraft
morning, now
one
it's noon.
is like, yeah, Overwatch's new engine, and it just shows you the nighttime in Minecraft turning into day. Like, oh man, I mean, there's nothing wrong with old stages getting a lighting update, certainly, but like when it comes to showing off new features that you're trying to convince people that this is in fact a sequel, there's higher priority things on that list that I think
Showing off
they'd like to see.
every stage, coming back, and then having like a minor color palette switch.
Yeah,
And also, I think what's way more important than the fact that it looks really lazy is that they all look worse.
there's that one
All
where
of
the
them.
shine on the gun gets like
Oh yeah,
blinding.
the one where it goes from day to night, and then the shine on Anna's gun is like the
Like,
fucking sun.
how is that the improvement? That one was weird. Um, yeah, I don't know. Like, I'm thinking of like,
Overwatch 1 traveled to Breaking Bad's Mexico.
so back in the day, or Traffic for that matter, right? Like switching between America blue and Mexico yellow. Um, you would get games like when you're playing. Sometimes you're playing Street Fighter 4 back in the day, and it's like, oh, new version of Street Fighter has launched, and oh, there's new characters, and then you're browsing through the character select screen, and then you hit the stage select. You're like, oh, look, there's a nighttime version of Chun Li's stage. Oh, that's cool.
Cool,
And
cool. That
it's
is cool.
it's not a feature list bullet point, but it's a thing where you're like, oh, nice, they did some variations of sorts. Nothing wrong with that in and of its own like context. It's just this is one of the few things that seems to be like coming out about the game outside of people not really watching it, and I don't know why, but between this and every other thing that seems completely the same, um, it seems like their goal with Overwatch 2 was to slowly introduce it as a drip feed transition update from people who are currently playing
So
Overwatch 1.
I
It's
did
a
a little
very
bit
weird
of
decision.
I did a little bit of research on Overwatch 2 because this was very confusing to me. And everything to do with Overwatch 2 has been mishandled and mismanaged in a way that I cannot believe because as somebody who follows the industry as a profession, I cannot believe how obviously fucked up the messaging around this game was. So first of all, the name Overwatch 2 is fucking completely wrong. It's a
Mm-hmm.
lie. It's straight up not Overwatch 2. It's an Overwatch update
Overwatch
in
Second
which
Impact.
all yeah, it's if you own Overwatch 1, you get Overwatch 2 and it'll just change into Overwatch 2 without the graphical things associated with it and all the PvP changes. It's like a season. Okay, and they're gonna add the graphic stuff, and they're gonna add a player versus every like a PvE mode, like not single player, but like a co-op mode, and that'll be paid.
1.1.
Yeah, but
Mm-hmm.
like Wooly, you've been playing fucking Elden Ring as Elden Ring is being given these massive content and balance patches.
Mm-hmm.
And they're labeled shit like
04.
1.04, right? Meanwhile, they're trying to tell you that this fucking patch is called, it's Overwatch 2! It's like,
So,
what the fuck?
I mean, we absolutely, it's so weird coming from the world of fighting games where you see like, oh my god, can you please just get to the next number, as like the long-lasting problem, you know, that existed in the Street Fighter 2 days of like, how many content updates are we gonna get when we want a sequel here? And now this complete opposite version where it's like, are you just using the 2 as a massive hype generator for
Yes,
an
100%.
update that's not at all a sequel, you know? Are you
So-
hoping that like investors and people are just going to like blow this up when it's just like, okay,
So-
model updates and
I'm not gonna
Daylight
go too
changes?
deeply into this, but Stanley Parable has a extended sequence about this exact thing.
uh-huh.
This exact thing, to the point where it makes me think they were talking about Overwatch to some degree. But like, yeah, no, it's a patch number. Like FF14 patches have more fucking shit in them than this, and they just get the fucking expansion number and then the fucking 0.1 or 0.2, 0.3 put after them. Most patches that are content have this. Fucking Deep Rock Galactic just came out with its fucking second season and doubled the amount of shit in their battle pass. And you know what Deep Rock Galactic did? It took every single item in its first battle pass and just integrated it back into the game as random drops.
So basically, this is what if No Man's Sky Next called itself No Man's Sky 2.
No Man's Sky 2 and 3 and 4.
Like, just, it could have been Overwatch Next. But, yeah, this is what it is instead. And it's so weird.
It's Blizzard.
What a strange decision.
So Blizzard is a fucked up company, as we've all discussed ad nauseum. But one of the weirdest things about Blizzard is actually something they share with Square Enix. You and I would make jokes about the CGI battle between the two companies that lasted for many years.
Mm-hmm.
But one thing that we now know Blizzard does, and we always knew Square Enix would do, was they would go, hey, we got anything? Nope. Announce something.
Mm-hmm.
What do you mean announce something? Just say you're making something. Are we going to work on that? No. Can we? Yeah, in like 3 years. Okay, fine. Announce it. And Overwatch, sorry, not Overwatch, but Blizzard does the same thing where they just go, this thing, this new character, or like it's always timed to some fucking personal scandal at the company or some game failing or some fucking disaster. They always just go, something new is coming out.
PR.
And Overwatch 2 is like the most blatant one because it's not even a new game.
No, man. The fucking it was pointed out, I don't think we talked about it here, but just like remembering that when whoop, okay, hold up a second, Inception, be right back. Okay, it just got
I
very,
just don't want everyone to see my asshole.
that's fine, but you got to give a warning on video because then it becomes the multiverse.
That's fine.
Okay.
I just didn't want everyone to see my asshole fall out.
Okay.
I didn't think it would, but what if it did?
What was I saying? So yeah, I was just going to bring up the audacity of announcing 3 Final Fantasy games at the same time. And like the overcompensating for investor hype, you know, that is just like getting people buzzed up over nothing. Yeah, dropping a 2 over a big game seems like that would be the move, and then everything that's come out since. I mean, it immediately like people started questioning it as it was like, here's a little change to the details of, you know, some of the character costumes, and then more updates.
Literally every single one of those is worse than their original design.
The biggest, most significant thing has been it's 5v5 now. I think that's the most significant change.
Yeah.
And then PvE is coming, which people were kind of wondering if that was going to drop as an
I have
update for
not
the
heard
original.
anything good about the gameplay. They had the beta a little bit a while ago, and people were talking about how tanks are now limited to a single slot, which ends up being way high pressure and like way more miserable. So that's just great.
Yeah. So anyway, the this is the just the opposite of the fighting game problem, you know, where you're misusing the gravity of the two for nothing, you know, and
I
you
I
can't
have,
undo that.
I'll say it again. I'll say. Wait a second. Somebody just a guy who's in here all the time, Kane, points out the maps were made for 6v6.
Mm-hmm.
They're reusing all the same fucking maps.
Seems like it. I don't
They're
know.
dropping it to 5v5, but the
There's
maps
got
are
to
all
be
made.
some new
Whatever.
ones. There's got to be some new ones, but yeah.
Sure. Overwatch is the game more than any other that every single time I played it, I had less fun than the last time I played it. Like my favorite version of Overwatch is launch Overwatch. And every time they changed something to make it better, I would be like, wow, this sucks. I hate this change.
Yeah, I fucking I played a Reinhardt, and that's what I enjoyed doing. And then other things came along, I guess. But I wonder if like yeah, I feel as if they literally just didn't call it 2, a lot of this would have been like, "Oh, big Overwatch overhaul coming." Okay. You know.
Yeah.
Then that would have been the end of the thought. Like massive overhaul. Cool. Sure. Overwatch. Literally Overwatch next.
Well,
you know, Overwatch whatever.
I mean, Blizzard's not, they're not diluting a lot of attention from themselves with the Overwatch 2. It's not seeming to working. But luckily, everything else is going just great over at Activision Blizzard, right?
Yeah, not quite. I mean, honestly, dude, they're all the same story. That's like as whenever I'm looking over.
There is one new one.
Okay, because a lot of this like industry keeping eyes on it shit has just been, and now the state of blank is now suing X giant AAA company over the fact that their company is full of assholes that
the only new one
this
this week is that New York City is suing Activision Blizzard, specifically Bobby Kotick, saying that because Bobby Kotick was involved in and cleaning up after all these scandals, that he didn't have the right to negotiate the merger.
The merger.
So they're trying to put the kibosh on the Microsoft merger, which would be great if that fucked up.
Well, it would be hilarious if it would have been okay to go through if he left, but his refusal to leave now bites them in the ass. That would be interesting.
Yeah.
You know, but yeah. I'm just like I scroll over them and I'm like, literally it's the same one week to week, you know. So yeah, there's that.
Man, I just want to say something now that we're talking about Overwatch. I briefly mentioned this. I think it might have been on here last week, but it definitely mentioned it on my stream. Like the state of multiplayer shooters right now is fucking dire. Like everything fucking sucks.
I know how bad the Halo stuff has been. How's Valorant doing?
I don't know.
Okay.
I decided one day that I was gonna try and run it, and the anti-cheat told me to fuck myself. And I was like, wow, that shows me for fucking deciding to go for it.
Okay.
Fortnite is unironically the most feel-good of the shooters in that it's the least fucked up.
Gundam will save the day. Gundam Evolution is coming.